Welcome back to 10 Foot Customs. I wasn't going to shoot another episode on fiberglass work because, well, basically fiberglass work is boring and tedious, and you can only show so much of it before people get bored. But I did find something when I was cleaning up old paint that I had also found in one other spot of the tub that I thought was interesting, that I wanted to share with you guys. So something to be aware of and to look for when you're doing fiberglass repair. So this is the underside of my cowl. So the body's upside down, which you saw. You have to remove all of the paint to do fiberglass work. You don't want to fiberglass on top of paint, because that way it'll just bond to the paint and peel it off. So you want to get down to your fiberglass again. But what I have found in a couple spots, and another good reason to grind off or get rid of all the paint on it, is if you can see here, which hopefully the camera picks up well, this kind of here and like this through here is kind of like a pinkish peach color up through here. That's good bonded fiberglass. It's strong. I mean, I am still laying carbon on here just because I want to stop some of the flex, but there's nothing wrong with this fiber. I don't have to do anything with this at all, where this pink stuff is. If you look at the difference here, you see how much whiter it is? It's kind of a whitey yellow color compared to right here, this difference in color. That whitish runs all the way across. You can see the big transition line right there, right along this line. This is damaged fiberglass. The structural integrity of this glass is much less now because it's been flexed a bit, or a lot. And that's due to the fact that the windshield sits here and you got this big hole cut out for the cowl vent, and you have holes down here for the defroster. So if you see this is 100% not superstructural carbon or superstructural fiberglass anymore. You're gonna want to go in here and you can probably just lay new resin on it, and it would probably soak into it. But for everything I'm doing, if I'm finding this kind of stuff, I'm laying like 2 layers of fiberglass mat on it. What you have to worry about is thickness. I mean, if you're restricted on how thick you can go, then you got to be very careful that you don't lay too much material on here and then you can't fit your stuff back in. Which is why I am relaying this whole section here in carbon fiber, because 2 layers of carbon fiber are going to be super strong. They're not going to take up much thickness at all. My defrost vent should still go in here without a problem. My intake vent for my cowl vent should all fit right back in here without taking up any space to have to worry about. The imperfections in this tub are probably more than what the thickness of my carbon fiber are going to be when it's done. So I also, the little plate that the windshield sits on had a slight arc in it, and that would make sense that why it would, because all this stuff, this fiberglass isn't as structural anymore. So that's why the probably the slight bow. I mean, I'm talking 1/4 inch, but that is a big seal point when it comes to keeping water out of the floor of the Jeep. That there's a windshield seal in there, and if the windshield pushes on it and it just bows down the plate that the windshield sits on, then it's just going to leak. So I put a piece of angle iron underneath here, clamped it in 4 spots, and again I pulled out that bow just a little bit. lay carbon fiber in there, and it should be solid again, and it should push back enough that it shouldn't leak. And again, fiberglass tub even does leak a little bit. Worst happens is my carpet gets wet. But this whitish fiberglass is what you're trying to look for as far as what is not structural anymore and what needs to be repaired, because it 100% is no longer solid fiberglass. So keep that in mind. So this is what I'm going to be using, the carbon fiber I'm going to be using to fix the cowl. Just ordered it off Amazon. I do believe this is like 10 feet. It's a 10 by 1 foot roll. Could be a 5, but I think it's 10 feet of just made in the USA carbon fiber. So I'm going to measure my cowl width. Probably going to run a couple different pieces, not do it all in one. Again, I don't want this to the resin to cure up before I get it all in. But yeah, I'll run a couple of strips and we'll let that cure. Then I get the clamps off and run the rest of it without the clamps being in the way. Once I get a layer or two down in the main areas, that should stay where it's supposed to be. Well, that's it. That's 2 layers of carbon fiber on everything back here, except for all the way over there where it's already got reinforcement built into it. But everything else, I was mostly concerned about flex, so it's 2 layers of carbon. I'm hoping that in the defrost groove right there, that I don't have to, yeah, right there, that I don't have to add reinforcement. I mean, I can do it, but I know it's kind of tight to get the defroster in there when I'm done. So I'm really hoping that what I did up on this, the cowl plate, will be strong enough to take out the flex. So we'll see. We'll let this cure and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. It's really hot underneath here, so I'm going to get out. Have a great week.